where nature is genetics and nurture is environment. And it's very fascinating how these two factors play together and interplay with each other to shape human life in health and disease. Gene environment interplay. Imagine a delicate dance where genes act as script and environment decide which scenes to highlight. This is achieved through epigenetic process that determine which gene should be on or off. Let's define genetics. Genetics are the study of heredity and the transmission of traits from one generation to another called inheritance. Genes can best described as a section of DNA which code for specific traits. According to a sample and NCBI database, we have 22,619 human protein coding genes, which mean that these are the genes that are expressed and transcribed currently. Things to know about your family. You must know that your parents not only have transmitted to you the genes that determine your physical appearance, like your tall, hair color, and etc., but also have transmitted personality trait, temper, and behavior. Actually, a lot of new study most shockingly saying that their own life experience and traumas have been passed and encoded in your DNA. Environment. When we say environment, we simply mean everything that surrounds us and have the capacity to affect us by influencing how our genes are being read. And understanding psychiatric disorder, we're gonna focus on two most influential environmental factors, which is family and your social circuit, like friends, your community system, etc. First come first. Sigmund Freud, the great Sigmund Freud, the father of psychoanalysis, and many other great scientists agreed on that personality developed in the first 5 years of life. And actually, our childhood experience affects us as an adult and how we behave and in how we shape our personality. Listen to me carefully. The relationship between the caregiver and the childhood going to have last impact on his life and mental life, because most of the trauma, most of the problem occur when the first 5 years of life. The brief and stunning word of Lev Tolstoy, his observation on how family impact children's life, he poetically described it in amazing words, putting it like this: its family either make a human being or a pile of knock. You know, there is always question pops out when we talk about why psychiatric disorder arose. Why some people, when they get trauma, they get psychiatric disorder. That goes to they have high resilience, social support, and best described as an individual that is hard not to crack. And vice versa. There is people who have high genetic vulnerability, low resilience, no social support, so they stuck, they get in the trauma affect them. They cannot get out of it. But, you know, these people that hard not to crack will develop some syndrome, some symptoms, but it's fine. They're gonna live with it. Not as one is catched and like he's like on the corner because of his psychiatric disorder after the trauma or chronic stress. That's really important. Anyhow, well, actually, it's time to talk about the treatment approach. There is 3 ways of treatment approach actually currently used to deal with psychiatric disorder. First of all, it's the psychopharmacology, using of medication like antidepressant, antipsychotic, mood stabilizer, and the tranquilizer. You have also the psychotherapy. There is more than 18 different schools of psychotherapy, like psychoanalysis, psychodynamic, existential, humanistic, cognitive behavior therapy, dialectic behavior therapy, emotion focused therapy, and much more. Third, brain stimulation devices, which actually it's a new in the field, like the TMS, transcranial magnetic resonance. And there is the ECT, electroconvulsive therapy. We shock the brain with electricity to change how it's work. And we have deep brain stimulation. So we talked about current approach of treatment of psychiatric disorder, but actually we reached to a cutting edge technology, and the science has evolved tremendously, and in the way we understand how brain works and how the psychiatric disorders manifest itself. So for me, I see that psychiatry should be redefined and become personalized therapy as precision medicine, to follow the precision medicine. So, like, how it's gonna go? First of all, there's four elements. The first one is genetic testing. There is a bunch of genetic testing that it must be done to know how to diagnose, and that help in diagnose and therapy. Secondly, we have the brain imaging, functional MRI and MRI, which aid in the diagnosis, prognosis, and therapy. Thirdly, lab testing. It's highly valuable to know if there is an hormonal imbalance, to know if there is deficiency in some vitamins and minerals that are crucial to cognitive function of the brain itself. Fourthly, it's my favorite one, actually, it's personalized psychotherapy. We don't just use any kind of school that we like. It must be according to patient need. So if we done all the above, from genetic testing, MRI, fMRI, lab testing, we're gonna have the information to get firm diagnosis and to know how to do a personalized psychotherapy plan. In conclusion, I would love to say, if we done all of the above, we're gonna have a qualitative and quantitative data that are seen and touched, and we're gonna get away from the trials and errors that happen in the field of psychiatry. We're gonna have an open, floating information that we can gather to deliver the optimal treatment to patients. And actually, this is my way of approaching psychiatric disorder, to know the genetics of the person, to know if there is any kind of brain changes. We can diagnose any psychiatric disorder just from functional brain imaging or MRI. And lab testing to see if there's hormonal imbalance like thyroid or vitamins and minerals deficiency. So to reach to personalized psychotherapy, we need genetics, brain imaging, and lab testing. And that's what I want to say. And I hope that this approach going to be in more than region in the world. There is some countries are doing this, and some doctors doing this because they know the fact of psychiatric disorder. Thank you so much for watching. I'm highly appreciate it. There will be a detailed studying and commenting on the content in the YouTube channel. See you there.